So I was thinking, mm, from a fan standpoint, it's amazing to have like a franchise player, somebody that you could count on night in, night out to electrify the crowd and silence the crowd on the road. I feel like that's something that shouldn't be taken for granted. Every team doesn't have a superstar player. Me being a Mavericks fan, I'm lucky to have a superstar player in Luka Doncic. But I was kind of thinking, what's the next step for a player like Luka? Because it's cool when you making an all-star game, you kind of flirting with the playoffs. You might make it, you might not make it. You're all NBA player, you got the shoe deals, you got the big contract from the team. It's all good. But when you start making those deep playoff runs and you finally get to the finals, I feel like that's when stuff gets real. I feel like he got a real taste of what the mountaintop, what it feels like, and to come up short from ultimate achievement, which is the NBA championship. I feel like you could say you made it to the mountaintop if you make it to the finals. You could say that. You could justify that if you lost. But truly conquering the mountaintop is when you win the NBA championship. And I feel like since he fell short of that, um, now we kind of at this point to where it's like, okay, will he take that failure and kind of morph into a whole new player? Which I feel like Luka may be close to his final form, because from a statistical standpoint, he kind of make the leaps every year that you will kind of require your superstar player to make. From If we could go down and list his accomplishments, he made the Western Conference Finals when he was 22, five-time All-Star, five-time All-NBA. He made the NBA Finals at 24 years of age. He was top 3 in MVP voting. So if you kind of think about it, Luka is pretty much very accomplished at a young age. Um, like I said, he makes the leaps, and even in the playoffs, we saw like the defensive effort being displayed. Luka will never be our NBA defender. You know what I'm saying? He will not be called to guard the opposition's best offensive player. That's not what he does. Luka, I feel like he's a smaller version of Nikola Jokic in a sense, to where like, he just really controls the game. He's the type of player he puts his imprint on the game. He has an array of moves. He can hit the step back three. He can get the floater. He can run the transition. He has a lot of moves. He could play in the post. He can get to the free throw line. Um, but I feel like in order for him to really take that next step, I feel like if I'm nitpicking, I think the next time the Mavericks make the playoffs, he has to be a better jump shooter. This season, he attempted the most field goals at 23.6 at 48%. He attempted the most threes at 10 for 38%, and free throw line best, 78%. But the thing is, we kind of saw those numbers dip once we hit the playoffs. Was he hurt? He was definitely compromised. We saw that in the Clippers series, and we saw it on throughout the rest of the playoffs. Even though in the Minnesota series, it was kind of like, is he hurt? He looked kind of he looked really really good against the Minnesota Timberwolves. But even we saw it again against the Boston Celtics in the NBA Finals. He definitely looked compromised. But I think that kind of has to be like the next step. One thing about it is when your franchise has your back, they kind of make these strides to show you that, okay, we're behind you, we believe in you, and we're going to provide you with the necessary help, because you're only good as the sum of your parts. That's why at the trade deadline, you see those guys, they go out and get like a Daniel Gafford, they go out and get a PJ Washington. Even this summer in free agency, you see like Najee Marshall, you see those guys go out and get Klay Thompson, Quentin Grimes, and I feel like they're definitely showing effort to show Luka that we're here for you. In the NBA Finals, we kind of saw like Derrick Jones Jr. and PJ Washington. They couldn't really hit the open jumpers, and I feel like it was times throughout the series where the Boston Celtics was kind of daring PJ Washington and Derrick Jones Jr. We'll let y'all shoot the ball. I feel like with Klay Thompson, even though Klay may be on the decline, Klay is still an exceptional jump shooter, one of the best jump shooters in the history of the game, definitely top 3, in my personal opinion. I feel like with the addition of Klay Thompson, that definitely keeps the defense honest, because Klay could just roam around on the perimeter and just wait for guys like Luka and Kyrie, who create so much attention when they have the basketball, especially driving to the paint. You kind of engage the defense. Everybody's looking at Luka and Kyrie and what they could do. And next thing you know, you got open shooters on the perimeter, which this year, luckily for us, it'll be Klay Thompson. This is the second most games Luka has played in his career at 70. I think he played 72 or 74 when he was a rookie. Um, I feel like you kind of take this and you grow, and you grow because getting to the finals, that's something that can be kind of career changing. You kind of saw it with the Boston Celtics. Uh, they had that sense of urgency. Like, we're here now. We got the team. Everybody, a lot of us have gotten paid. Like, some of us have yet to be paid, but we're not really worried about that. So it's like that security. Like Drew Holiday, I'm pretty sure he knew he was going to get paid. He got paid. Derek White, I'm pretty sure he knew it. Jason Tatum, we all knew he was getting a $300 million deal. So it's just like, okay, if we know we're getting this, let's just focus on the basketball right now. We'll worry about the money later. And so you saw a sense of urgency coming from them because in 2022, they made it to the NBA Finals. They came up short. They were young. It was kind of green. They didn't really know what was going on. They've been successful for a long time, especially since this Tatum and Brown run. They've been highly successful. They felt Tatum kind of had shooting struggles. Brown played pretty good. He was the Finals MVP, but I feel like now that games will be more polished because they kind of know what it takes. They could maybe take their foot off the gas going into next season, but with like Luka, like we might have to put our foot back on the gas again and try to like really ramp this thing up because the Western Conference didn't do anything but get a whole lot better. The Thunder got a whole lot better. If addressing your needs and doubling down on what you were already good at was a team, it'll be the Thunder. They already had excellent perimeter defenders. Now you add Alex Caruso, who is capable of hitting an open jump shot, which Josh Giddey, that's not really his game. And from an interior standpoint, Chet Holmgren, he's an exceptional shot blocker, but he can kind of get bullied at times with Isaiah Hartenstein. You won't really have to worry about any of that. He's one of the better interior defenders that you'll see pretty much in the game, and I feel like those are some steals for the Thunder. The Minnesota Timberwolves, they now understand what it may take to make a deep playoff run. I was hearing that they said they was kind of gassed going down the stretch. This is as far as a lot of those guys have been. So they'll be back and ready to go to Denver Nuggets. They think they probably have something to prove. So it'll be very top heavy in the Western Conference, and a lot of people are not really picking the Mavericks to make it back to the finals again. I am. That's just my team. That's just the way it goes for me. And I like the moves that we made. I feel like in a lot of scenarios, we have the best player, and that's Luka Doncic. And I feel like he should take this loss. No, you should take it. You should kind of run with it and try to like see the thing with Luka. He doesn't really have too many holes. The only thing I would like to see him, the complaining to the refs. Hopefully somebody's in his ear that he could kind of take that constructive criticism. He could kind of apply it. Because you even saw in Minnesota, Dirk Nowitzki was on the sideline. Luka was complaining. Dirk was like, hey, he kind of yelled out to him, get back on defense, man. Go play. Like, stop worrying about that so much. And I need him to engage a little more on the defensive end like he did this playoff run. Because just defense, I don't want to disrespect anybody that's a supreme defender like a Dennis Rodman or Gary Payton. I don't want to just say defense, it requires extreme skill. I just believe it requires extreme effort. I'm not saying defenders can't be skilled, but I feel like the most part of that, it requires extreme effort. And I feel like just show effort. I'm not saying you have to be a lockdown defender. You don't got to be Kawhi Leonard. You know what I'm saying? You don't got to be those types of guys. Giannis Antetokounmpo. We're not asking you to do that. Just show more effort, But the complaining definitely has to stop. I feel like the ill-advised threes, that kind of not for the ill-advised three. That's kind of what comes with having a superstar player. Like even like guys like Steph Curry, they're just gonna take some threes, even though anything Curry shoots look like it's supposed to go in. Shout out my Kenfo Torn, he put me on Curry a long time ago. But Luka Doncic, he shoots a lot of ill-advised threes. I would love to see him become like an 84-85% three-point free throw shooter. 85% from three is some crazy work. But I would love to see him raise his three-point percentage up to like 41-42%. I know when you take 10 threes a game, I don't know if he'll up that number to like 11. I'm pretty sure 10 is kind of where you hover around and kind of maintain that. But I would like to see him. If you're gonna take less threes, you take 2 less threes a game. Try to work in other facets of the game, whether it's creating for your teammates or trying to get to the paint and get to the free throw line, work your way inside out like that. Um, I definitely feel like he has room for improvement. It's just kind of fine tuning his game, because if we're looking at Luka just as an offensive product, he's one of the best offensive players we've ever seen. If we're really being honest, there's nothing that he can't do on the offensive end. I just feel like he has to fine tune some of those percentages, the free throw percentage, the 3-point percentages. Stop complaining as much, So I feel like and engage more defensively. So those are like the steps I would like to see Luka take, because now you've been to the finals and you come up short. Now this is that career defining moment. How will you come back as a player going into a more tough Western Conference team? I mean, going into a more tougher Western Conference. So yeah, that's all I got for y'all, man. Y'all have a blessed night.